Get a band-aid and let's go home.
And Saucy Santana.
Celebrity! Oh my God, I'm a rapper, like I'm a celebrity.
The music artist was visibly distraught.
You said, this is a quote from you, we were always scared of Puff. He's a powerful person. We don't know what would have happened to us if we spoken out. He could make you disappear. I mean, that sounds like you're saying he would basically have you.
I've been saying it.
Yeah.
How many times I got some these is wild.
Hold up. Before all this Diddy indictment mess exploded, honey, there were already whispers in these streets about Young Miami being his personal pimp. And chilly, that spotlight quickly turned to Saucy Santana's involvement with both of them. Now, everyone's asking, are these rumors the real tea? Was Saucy Santana just another victim in Diddy's wild party days? With more than 3,000 people coming forward against Diddy, it looks like the mogul's terrorizing reign is finally over. And get this, Saucy Santana might be the latest person to blow the whistle because these rumor mills are packed with details about how Diddy allegedly had his way with the rapper.
Now I see how Young Miami can take all that pressure. She on the two-seat. They be thinking these is over here like killing the game. They don't feel nothing, that's why they do it.
Now listen here, besides the fact that Young Miami is the only connection between Diddy and Santana, this City Girls rapper, who dated Diddy for about a year, is allegedly caught up in his infamous party scandal where the deed against Santana supposedly went down. And baby, according to these reports, Young Miami wasn't just allegedly pimping both men and women to Diddy at these events. She might have been the one supplying him with those substances he allegedly used to keep Santana and others in that state where he could have his way with them.
Sometimes lasted days at a time, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant.
While the authorities were searching Diddy's homes, they allegedly found some of these substances along with tapes from his parties, which may or may not have included Santana. But honey, they were already keeping their eyes on Young Miami for whatever role she might have played in all these escapades.
Ketamine, that's a horse tranquilizer, so that relaxes all your muscles. You could get fucked by 80 fucking ton gorillas. You wouldn't feel a thing.
The word on these streets is that Saucy Santana just might make the authorities' job a whole lot easier because it looks like the rapper is about to spill all the tea about their friend, her ex, and every single thing that went down.
No, she don't.
Yes, she do.
What she say about you?
She say a lot.
No, she don't.
She put my personal business out there. That's how I started Crucial Please, because she just kept naming multiple men that I was dating.
Now here's the million-dollar question. Is Saucy Santana trying to get revenge on the people who took advantage of them, or did the authorities have to threaten them with those tapes to make them speak? Looking at all the trouble Diddy's already drowning in, with accusations coming from left and right, you'd think the authorities wouldn't need to do much to get him behind bars. But honey, it looks like they want to round up his whole crew, and Young Miami might be on that list. The real question is, just how deep was she involved with him for the authorities to think she needs to be off these streets just like him? And what tea could Saucy Santana spill about all this? Let's dive into this mess.
It just baffled me how a lot of people turn it into hate when there's more people walking around that's gay than people know.
Chilly. Right now, it seems like everybody and their mama knows about Diddy's tendencies. But honey, that's not even the main issue anymore because it looks like Diddy doesn't care about orientation when he wants his way with someone. And poor Saucy Santana might have found this out the hard way as they're allegedly one of Diddy's victims. But here's where it gets messier. Sources are saying this was all Young Miami's doing. Before we spill all that scalding tea, we need to understand what was really going on between Diddy and Miami.
So, like, what's your relationship status? You Mr. Act Bad?
I'm single, you know. I'm single, but I'm dating.
Now let me tell you something. Diddy is about as faithful as a cat in a room full of catnip. Even when he was with Young Miami, this man had the audacity to deny being taken when she interviewed him on her own show. The disrespect.
We date. We dating. We go have dates.
Baby, everything about their relationship has been raising more red flags than a color guard performance. First off, Diddy was paying her this hefty allowance just to play the girlfriend role. And if that wasn't suspicious enough, she threatened to end things when Diddy cut her allowance from a whopping $500,000 down to $200,000. Now, most folks would agree that getting $200,000 just to be somebody's girlfriend is already wild enough, let alone $500,000, makes you wonder what other services she might have been providing under that girlfriend allowance label, and And honey, let's talk about how she was out here giving advice about matching energies. Looking back now, it paints a real dark picture of what was really going on with Diddy. Maybe that's why she was putting up with all of Diddy's preferences, which might explain how Saucy Santana got caught up in all this mess. For those who don't know the tea, Saucy Santana and Young Miami were best friends even before she met Diddy back in 2021. But since that meeting, it looks like the business mogul might have influenced Santana way more than anybody wants to admit.
Let me tell you what you gotta do, ladies. You gotta like match these men energy. That's what you have to do. Match the energy. Whatever they giving you, that's what you give.
Well, honey, we don't need any convincing because these reports about her sacrificing her best friend to him are speaking volumes. And no, Young Miami didn't just serve up Saucy Santana to the mogul. It looks like she might have set the whole thing up at one of his infamous parties. Now you might be wondering, why would Young Miami do her best friend like that? Well, looking at that salary he was paying her, that's one reason. But baby, there's more to this story. See, when Diddy and Young Miami first met, her career was barely off the ground. And with this man being at the top of the industry for decades, it seems Santana might have been her ticket to the big leagues. Even though they had everybody fooled thinking they were in this real relationship, people couldn't help but notice something was off about them. But it wasn't until word started spreading about Saucy Santana's experience that the puzzle pieces started falling into place.
Just being for years anyways, and just how the industry, you know, this is still new to a lot.
Child. Since then, the accusations against Young Miami have been coming faster than gossip at a beauty salon. Just look at what this one user wrote. Young Miami at the club every weekend, luring girls into Diddy's ring. Could she really have been Diddy's pimp this whole time? But wait, even if that's true, it's not even the worst part of this mess. Because it's not just about her allegedly pimping out her own best friend for a hit single, it's how she did it. We've all heard how Diddy allegedly likes to keep his victims in this near unconscious state, and honey, Saucy Santana's case was no different. But here's the gag. Young Miami might have been helping make it happen. How, you ask? Well, according to these street insiders spilling tea all over X, Young Miami was caught up in possession of that very substance Diddy allegedly used on Saucy Santana. And baby, this substance has been coming up in other situations too. Just look at what this X user wrote. Y'all don't find it suspicious that Liam had pink coke in his system when not too long ago Young Miami was accused of transporting it for pervert Diddy? When are y'all gonna wake up? These allegations have sent shockwaves through the industry. Everybody's wondering just how deep this rabbit hole goes with Young Miami and Diddy. But at the center of all these claims is this substance they're calling pink coke. So what in the world is this stuff?
See, is the coke, but they take the ketamine and cook it up. And they fold it into the coke.
Just listen up, because this is important. Despite its name, pink coke isn't necessarily cocaine at all. It's this wild mixture of different substances. We're talking MDMA, ketamine, and 2CB. MDMA, which most people know as ecstasy, is this stimulant that messes with your mind, while ketamine is this powerful anesthetic that knocks you out and makes you see things. According to Jaguar Wright, this was allegedly a staple at Diddy's freak-offs, used to keep people in this state where they could be controlled and taken advantage of.
The freak sometimes lasted days at a time and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant.
This is allegedly what they used on Santana to keep them compliant. But honey, besides rapper blowing the lid off Young Miami's alleged pimping activities, she's been officially accused of doing way more than just providing men and women for Diddy's freak-offs.
It's a drug you may have never heard about, but is now at the center of two headline-making stories. It is called pink coke, and it was allegedly used to get embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs' wild parties going.
Now we're finding out Young Miami might have played an even bigger role in all this. Let me break this down for you. It all ties back to one of these lawsuits against Diddy. Some juicy new details just came out in Rodney Lil Rod Jones's lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs, and baby Young Miami got dragged right into this mess. According to these court documents that XXL got their hands on, the Miami rapper was allegedly transporting drugs for the Bad Boy Records founder. In these extra 25 pages they added to Lil Rod's filing, they spill all the tea about Diddy's thing for pink coke, which they're saying is this mix of ecstasy and coke, also called 2C or Tucci. The documents say Diddy was getting his supply from his alleged mule Brendan Paul, who just got arrested, by the way. But turns out Young Miami was in on it too. Let me read you this straight from the court filing. Plaintiff and the Rico Enterprise were rehearsing for something in the festival in Virginia. Plaintiff Jones personally witnessed Mr. Combs do a few lines of coke in his dressing room. Defendant Sean Combs wanted Tucci, but Brendan forgot it. So defendant Christina Coram called Young Miami, who then brought it on the private jet from Miami. Chiley, when this news hit, social media went absolutely wild. One user wrote, "I'm happy Young Miami going in the same prison cell as Diddy throw away the key she was doing coke, harassing his victims and protecting Diddy, all for money, now her kids, parentless, all because the poor B crashed out behind some money." Another one added, "Literally did all that because she didn't want to rap or get a job. She chose to sell herself to the highest bidder. Now she's forced back into podcast and club hosting." None of this would have come to light if Lil Rod hadn't opened his mouth. Speaking of which, his lawsuit dropped at the end of February 2024, and Child, he accused the mogul of essaying him. The suit names a whole cast of characters. Diddy's son, Justin Combs, Universal Music Group CEO Sir Lucian Grange, Diddy's Chief of Staff Christina Coram, and Motown Records CEO Ethiopia Habtemariam as defendants. Now, while the City Girls rapper has been keeping her lips sealed tighter than a Ziploc bag about anything Diddy-related lately, she did throw some shade on social media. Fans have been flooding Young Miami's mentions because of her connection to Diddy. When somebody tweeted, "Where Carisha at?" she had the nerve to reply, "Right here, what's up?" But here's the thing that's got everybody shook: the fact that Diddy's name is attached to something involving substances allegedly used to take advantage of victims, and that many of those victims were men. Baby, that's been proven by these new accusations that just dropped. Just 2 days ago, our problematic mogul got hit with a new wave of SA lawsuits. We're talking 7 new complaints filed in New York courts Monday morning. And get this, these lawsuits, including 6 from 2 weeks ago, were all filed by this team of lawyers led by Texas attorney Tony Busby, who's promising up to 120 lawsuits total. They've all been filed anonymously, accusing Diddy of all sorts of SA. But what's really got people gagging is that the majority of these new cases are from men. 8 out of the 13 most recent complaints came from male accusers, including 2 who say they were minors at the time of the alleged attacks.
Now to Sean Diddy Combs, the music mogul is facing a series of new civil lawsuits, including allegations he sexually assaulted 2 teenagers.
The other accusers say they were either working for or had worked with the superstar producer before these encounters happened. In total, and you might want to sit down for this, 25 ESSA lawsuits have been filed against Diddy in the past year. Among the first 12, 2 accusers were male: Lil Rod, that producer who worked on Diddy's The Love album in 2023, and Derek Lee Cardello Smith, who's currently in a Michigan prison. Jones has been spilling all the tea, honey. He was the first one to suggest that other celebrities were getting their freak on at Diddy's substance-fueled parties. According to his lawsuit filed this year, there were even TDS workers involved. In that same suit, Jones accused actor Cuba Gooding Jr. of essaying him on Diddy's yacht in January 2023. Now, Gooding denied these allegations in a podcast interview in May, saying he was an easy target because of his previous misconduct and claimed Jones was just after the money.
Like your name, for example, was mentioned in the Diddy case.
Which was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Because you barely know
This is
him,
the
right?
most ridiculous thing ever. But again, welcome to being
Child. These 8 anonymous men who've sued Diddy claim he attacked them between 1998 and 2022. We're talking about teens trying to break into the music industry, a man who worked for a rival clothing company, a security guard at one of Diddy's infamous white parties, and even a personal trainer. Now let me tell you about the youngest victim. This poor baby said he was invited to Diddy's 1998 white party. You know, those star-studded events he used to throw from 1998 to 2009. After running into Diddy at the party, the man claims this so-called producer fondled him. According to the court papers, Diddy convinced this teenage aspiring musician to take off his pants by saying it was some kind of rite of passage in the industry. The audacity. And honey, these claims are echoed in another lawsuit filed Monday to the Supreme Court of New York. According to this one, the victim was just 17 years old with dreams of working in music when Diddy invited him to some exclusive party at a Manhattan hotel penthouse in 2022. The lawsuit claims Diddy gave this teen a drink that left him dizzy and weak. While trying to find the bathroom, this poor child stumbled into a back room where an orgy was happening. That's when this former Revolt exec allegedly pulled him toward the bed and fondled him. I can't even. The new filings include 2 more men saying the producer groped them until someone interrupted. One of them, a private security worker, claims Diddy fondled him at a Harlem party in August 2005, only stopping when the victim's wife walked in. Another man who used to rent luxury cars and jewelry to Diddy accused him of groping at a Ciroc party in 2022. That That attack only stopped because some professional athlete walked in. Several other men have come forward saying Diddy forcefully had his way with them. We're talking about a consultant, someone from a clothing company, and a person who took a last-minute security job at a 2006 white party. All these claims match up with what we've been hearing about Diddy for years from people close to him. Remember Keffe D, Diddy's former security? Chile, he spilled some piping hot tea about his boss's secret activities back in the day. Keffe D told The Art of Dialogue that Puffy, as he called him, used to attend these wild gay parties with several A-list celebrities.
What's going on here? It's just a lot of weird.
But that's not all. A transgender activist even exposed Diddy for allegedly using transgender services for quite some time. Looks like Diddy's been keeping his preferences under wraps for years. And let's not forget, this man allegedly has a few boy toys in the industry at his beck and call, one of them being YK Osiris.
Did you laugh or were you
I was laughing. Yeah.
Was you in Jamaica with Diddy though?
He said yeah.
When you Google his name, there's a rumor that pops up that he was Diddy's boy toy.
YK Osiris even hinted at these allegations during an interview with The Breakfast Club. But in all these claims, the most recent male accuser case happened at an award show after party Diddy hosted in Los Angeles in 2022. The victim, a personal trainer who got referred to Diddy by a fashion designer client, says he drank something at the party without knowing it was drugged. After he got incapacitated, one of Diddy's people led him to a room where about a dozen people, including Diddy himself and other celebrities, were having an orgy. The filing says this poor trainer was going in and out of consciousness while being forced into acts with men and women, including Diddy and some unnamed male celebrity. This story might be the closest to what Saucy Santana allegedly experienced if Diddy really did take advantage of them. And the trainer's description of being drugged matches exactly what Pink Coke does. The same stuff Young Miami was allegedly transporting for Diddy. Considering all these women and men who've suffered at Diddy's hands have similar stories, who's to say that's not Santana's story too? Now, Diddy's been pushing back hard against these claims. Right now, he's sitting in federal custody at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center waiting for his trial on federal SA and racketeering charges. He's been begging for bail multiple times, even offering up some of his houses just to get out, but they keep shutting him down. This made his team try something different. On Sunday, Diddy's attorneys requested a gag order asking a New York judge to stop any potential witnesses or their attorneys from speaking against him. His attorneys claimed these statements are messing with his right to a fair trial, saying Diddy's been the target of an unending stream of allegations by prospective witnesses and their counsel in the press. They asked for any response by October 30th, saying it's time sensitive because each day that passes brings a fresh wave of publicity, often at the direction of accusers and their counsel, further prejudicing Mr. Combs' right to a fair trial. But Chile, it doesn't look like anything's gonna change for Diddy, except maybe his jail cell. But we'll just have to wait for his trial to see him get what's coming to him. That's all for now. Goodbye. This drama is still unfolding, and you know I'll be back with more tea as soon as it spills. Stay tuned. Spills, stay tuned. Spills.